welcome back. If you've just joined us, you're watching the news at 10 on Channels Television, coming to you live from Lagos. A reminder of our major stories. President Buhari resumes duty, gets brief from his Chief of Staff and Vice President. National Assembly receives the President's letter of resumption, contents of letter to be discussed tomorrow. Accident Investigation Bureau releases report on Dana crash and others, says Dana Flight 0992 crashed as a result of engine failure. And South African judge jails Nigerian for 20 years for drug trafficking. Just a quick reminder to you that for more on our top stories and others, please visit our website, channelstv.com and youtube.com/channelsweb. You can also watch us on the go on m.channelstv.com or download the Channels TV app for Android, iOS and Windows phones from their respective stores. Now, having the Channels TV and Channels 24 app will give you access to news and updates. You also have the Eyewitness feature, so you too can be part of the news. Just install the app, then tap and swipe to reveal the Eyewitness menu and follow the instructions to share those pictures, videos or news of happenings around you. We have some of those pictures and let's share them with you. We can begin from Lafia in Nasarawa State, showing a vehicle overloaded with mattresses. Our Eyewitness reporter wants the authorities to put a stop to acts like this. The second one is an image of a fallen pole in the Shongotedo axis of Lagos State. You should see it in a minute. Our Eyewitness reporter there is calling on the authorities concerned to address it. There it is. And our final picture tonight shows a fallen pole in the same vicinity as the second one that you saw. We're told that this has been this way for quite some time, and our Eyewitness reporter wants the government to do something about it quickly before the rains come. Thanks a lot for all your pictures, and we ask you to please keep them coming. A Nigerian has been handed a 20-year jail sentence for human trafficking and running a prostitution ring. The 33-year-old Eke Ogochukwu was arrested in 2015 for allegedly luring a 15-year-old girl into prostitution in a Johannesburg suburb, where the recent flare-up of anti-foreigner violence began last month. Despite efforts by the defense to plead for a fine, the judge insisted that the sentence is appropriate for what he called the cruelty of the accused. The Accident Investigation Bureau, AIB, has released the final report of investigations into a crash of the Dana Flight aircraft 0992 on June the 3rd, 2012. The report states that the plane lost power from its two engines, adding that the second engine lost power shortly before the plane was due to land, resulting in the crash.
No matter the transport mode, accidents always reduce the public's confidence in the safety of the transport system. Investigation into causes of accidents and incidents and the resulting recommendations helps to prevent these events from recurring and thus play an important role in improving air safety. Here in this conference call, the final reports of two air incidents, an accident involving OAS helicopters which occurred in Osun State in July 2011, and the accident involving Dana Airlines on 3rd June 2012 is being released. The Commissioner for Accidents lists the probable causes of the Dana crash.
Engine number 1 lost power 17 minutes into the flight, and thereafter on final approach, engine number 2 lost power and failed to respond to throttle movement on demand for increased power to sustain the aircraft in its flight configuration. The appropriate omission of the use of the checklist and the crew's inability to appreciate the severity of the power-related problem and their subsequent failure to land at the nearest suitable airfield. Number 3, lack of situation awareness, inappropriate decision making, and poor airmanship.
The Accident Investigation Bureau says safety recommendations previously made in earlier reports have been accepted and closed by all parties concerned.
And following the release of the final report of the June the 3rd, 2012 accident, Dana Airlines says it's implemented the interim safety recommendations that were released by the Accident Investigation Bureau in 2013. The airline says it did not just implement the recommendations, but also successfully passed an operational audit conducted by the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority's Flight Safety Group and its foreign partners. It adds that while it acknowledges the full report, it will continue to review it. Now let's just take a deeper look at that AIB report. I'm being joined now on the news at 10 by the Commissioner, Accident Investigation Bureau, Mr. Akin Olateru. Thank you so much for joining us on the news at 10.
Good evening.
Now we've taken a look at some of the reports. The one for Dana is over 200 pages. Our hearts do still go out to the families 5 years on. But let me just ask you, about what we saw. Engine failure and poor airmanship. How did you arrive at that, and why?
Well, on the Dana crash,
yes,
there are several factors. There are several processes you go through before you arrive at safety recommendations. Unfortunately, the flight data recorder, we couldn't retrieve any data from that due to the fire incident, but we got quite good information from the cockpit voice recorder, the CVR. From the CVR, you can hear the conversation between the two pilots, what transpired. Then you go through several processes. We invited NTSB, that's the American version of Nigerian Accident Investigation Bureau. They joined us. They sent a representative. So it was a joint investigation before we arrived at those safety recommendations.
All right, there are a number of cases there, even looking at the OAS helicopter case where you've recommended that the pilot was not instrument rated and he lacked route familiarization. How does something like that happen?
Well, if you look at every airline in Nigeria is supposed to work in accordance to the approved operational manual that is approved by the Nigerian Civil Aviation Regulation. Before that crash, it wasn't a clear-cut, definite demarcation between a private operated and a commercial operated flight. But in this regard, the pilot was visual rated, wasn't instrument rated. That means it cannot fly. It's not been instrument rated. Pilot can fly even in bad weather as long as the aircraft is equipped as an instrument with instrument rated. Instrument rated. But the thing is, on this issue, on this occasion, the pilot has never been exposed to instrument
So
flights.
why did he fly that helicopter?
Well, because it wasn't an issue before that time. So this has made us to issue a safety recommendation to Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority to ensure all commercial flights in Nigeria, helicopter in this case, must be instrument rated. The pilot must be instrument rated, because in case you fly in en route and you meet weather, what do? Do you land? That's one thing he could have done, to land, knowing fully well he is not instrument rated.
He was neither instrument rated nor did he know the route either.
Well, there's what they call route familiarization. This is in accordance with the approved operations manual for OAS. They're supposed to take him through route familiarization program for him to understand, because if you're flying visual, you need to know these are the obstacles on this route, this is where I have this is where I have this, because we're talking about visual. It's like driving a car, you're seeing where you're going. But in a situation whereby you can't see where you're going, it becomes a different issue.
All right,
that is when you should be instrument rated.
You have a number of recommendations to Dana, to the NCAA. We saw some as well to NAMA. Are your recommendations binding in any way? I know Dana have come out to say that, well, they've done some of them, that you recommended in 2013. If people do not, take your recommendations as seriously as they should, Can the AIB do anything about it?
Well, what I would say, all our recommendations are very, very serious issues. Nobody will take it lightly. Even Dana, I will commend Dana. They've been very, very responsive from the inception, and they've actually taken on board all the safety recommendations so far in all the preliminary safety reports. And on this one, they have only one safety recommendation which they have to implement, and I'm sure they will. In terms of the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority, they will have to, because we've been audited by ICAO from time to time to ensure you don't just issue safety recommendations. Are you following up, and are they actually in compliance? So this is it's a very serious business, I can assure you that.
All right. Commissioner, Accident Investigation Bureau, Mr. Akin Olateru, thank you for sharing your thoughts with us on the News at 10 tonight.
Thank you very much.
And when the News at 10 returns, Central Bank of Nigeria is injecting another $1.32 billion into the forex market in its bid to lift the naira. That's on business. Do join us again.